uveitis, multifocal choroiditis, and panuveitis, azor, acute zonal occult outer retinopathy, and uveitic glaucoma. I was a broke college student at the University of Connecticut studying, ironically, to be a pharmacist. And they told me very quickly that I couldn't be a blind pharmacist, that, Viagra, Vicodin, they all look the same. I was like, well, little pill, right? No, they're like, yeah, it might not be a career choice for you. Luckily, I pivoted and I had my nose in my palate, and at the time I was working at night as a sommelier, and I had a wonderful career as a sommelier, as a wine expert, because what's more fun than smelling and tasting wine as a blind person? So I was scared to death of this diagnosis, and because I waited 3 months to go back after my initial diagnosis, I had no health insurance. I had saved up all my tips for my one visit with Dr. Larry Amusi in Manhattan, who told me that I needed treatment right away, and I said, that's nice, how much is that going to cost? And because I waited those 3 months, I lost 70% of my peripheral vision. So from there, I didn't have the resources that we have now, like Glaucoma Research Foundation. I didn't know about these resources that were available to me. I was uneducated and really just didn't know where to go next. So had I been compliant with my care, if someone had helped me navigate the system, if I had known that glaucoma is the invisible thief of sight, I'd be driving a really kick-ass sports car right now, not this. Or my adorable Labrador guide dog, who I wish was here with us today. So I started an online support group, as one does when they get diagnosed with a tricky disease. They go to the internet, right? Because Dr. Google is the doctor that we're all afraid of in this room. But patients, unfortunately, like me, that's where they go. Again, we didn't know back then about GRF. So when I got on there, I found that there were people that had stories like mine. Not just a few people, but thousands of people. I was not an outlier, I was not unusual. And I made a vow that no one was going to go blind from a treatable eye disease on my watch. I was going to figure out a way to help these people. Now here we are, 20 some odd years later, and because of the brilliant minds in this room and incredible research that we have, the technology, the medications, the procedures are available, no one should go blind in this day and age from interventional glaucoma. And yet, they still do. Why? It's not because of lack of innovation. It's not because of lack of funding for research. We raised more than $500,000 last night. But it's because patients lack support. So how do we fix this? So here's what the data tells us. 60% of glaucoma patients stop taking their medications within the first 6 months of diagnosis. 50% stop returning for their appointments, like me. Not so smart. It's not because we don't care, it's because we're afraid, we're overwhelmed, we're uneducated, we're underinsured, or unemployed. We can develop the best treatments in the world, but if patients don't adhere to these medications, don't show up for their appointments, the outcome is always guaranteed to be poor. It makes all the work that we're doing in this room not worth it. So here I saw an opportunity. In 2021, Medicare made it billable and reimbursable to place patient advocates in every major eye hospital and practice in the country. There's a few blessings that came out of the pandemic, and telehealth was one of them. I found out that in certain circumstances, existing CPT codes for principal care management, chronic care management, and also transitional care management out of surgery were billable and 100% reimbursable through Medicare. This means that now we have the ability to assign trained patient advocates to every glaucoma patient in the country, in private practices and in major eye hospitals. This isn't charity, it's infrastructure. The 45 surgeries that I've had to save my sight have enabled me to be he said 8-time gold medalist. 7-time national champion and in triathlon and then later track cycling. I like to go in circles fast. And represent the United States at the Paralympic Games in Tokyo in 2020 or 2021 due to the pandemic. This whole experience really inspired me, and so I am now building a national workforce of certified ophthalmology patient advocates. What does that mean? I created a course that will be offered through Alchemy Vision, online, 6-week course. These patient advocates will be certified by Chicago, and then we will be placing them in major eye hospitals, starting with Mount Sinai Hospital in New York City. We're not only going to be doing this, but we're going to pay it forward to people like me that are underemployed. 80% of the visually impaired and low vision population is unemployed. I'm going to be hiring entirely low vision patients from Lighthouse for the Blind in Chicago, San Francisco, Columbus, Ohio. Ohio does exist, by the way. I found it. even a blind person can find it. Then it must exist. and Miami. So we found these amazing people that have formerly worked in healthcare, so they're familiar with EMRs. They have been unemployed since they lost their sight to glaucoma. And what better way to have empathy and build a great patient rapport than to put these people in jobs that are HIPAA compliant and they can still work remotely from home. The biggest obstacle for me, obviously, for unemployment is transportation. Now we've proved that you can be compliant via HIPAA and do telehealth and do it remotely. These advocates will educate patients, improve adherence, reduce no-shows, support physicians, and protect vision. Everything while generating reimbursable revenue for the hospitals. Everyone wins. The patients get to keep their sight. The hospital and doctors are supported and reimbursed. Healthcare systems reduce vision loss. And pharma gets to see better medication adherence, right? That's what a lot of us are here about today. So this is what happens when compliance meets compassion. I lost my vision because I didn't have an advocate. Today, I'm building a future where no patient faces eye disease alone, and where preventable blindness finally becomes acceptable. Do you want to be part of this? Hit me up. Let's talk. I'm here today. So thank you for helping Glaucoma Research Foundation, making them a priority and pushing the limits of what's possible with glaucoma. Interventional glaucoma is the buzzword this year, but every single person in this room has contributed to making my success. Every single person in this room has enabled me at the age of 46 years old to compete against 20-year-olds around the world. Every single person here, from eye care, providing tonometers for me, to Dr. Jim Tsai calling me the day before I hit the start line in Tokyo and having me check my pressure and check in and make sure I was feeling good. Setting up specialists when I traveled to Australia when I had unstable pressures in case I had an emergency. Pharma, Thea, Bausch & Lomb producing Retisert implants that have saved my sight from uveitis. I am so grateful to every single person in this room. You don't need sight to have a vision. Let's make this happen with Glaucoma Research Foundation and patient advocacy. Thank you.